I'm trying to present a very difficult concept in Rigveda, so this is going to be a long presentation. Please be ready. Here we are talking about the idea of Aryas living in 7 cities. Again, this can be debated to mean something else. We will look into that. In many rigs of Rigveda translations, the translations by other people, Indra is called Purandara, the destroyer of cities or forts or strongholds. And because of that, he is called Purandara. In later times, Purandara is a term applied to Vishnu and a couple of other gods. We will not get into this now. We will look at it in a future presentation. According to Rigveda, Indra destroyed 99 cities of Puraha, of Dasas, and gave the 100th fort to Divadasa. And we will look at this story in a future presentation in more carefully. So let us start with this rig by Bharadwaja, who is the son of Brihaspati. Anyway, we'll look at the genealogy of rishis later. We won't look at it now. So here, let us start with the term Puravaha. Again, this is not Puru kings. Many people translate this to mean that Indra has done all these good things for the Puru kings. Here, Puravaha means the people who are doing yajna, which is clearly explained here. The people who praise Indra in a ritual, they are called Puravaha, and they are being blessed, or they are giving different gifts, as we will see in the second line. So second line reads as Sapta Yat Puraha Sharma Sharadih Dardaha Dhana. Let's remember up to Dhan. So okay. Sapta Yat Puraha. Sapta means 7. Yat Pura means these cities. Sharma means protect. Sharadi means Sharadrutu or rainy season. Dardaha has two meanings, we will explain below. And Dhan, money. Okay. Now let's get to the translation. Dardaha is used with the meaning of breaking. So Indra is breaking these 7 cities. That is the meaning that is taken by many of the translators. But Dardaha word comes from Da, the root Da, as per Panini. Panini gives two meanings to the word Da, which is what is causing confusion here. Just like Puru, Da has many meanings. One meaning is to give, which forms the root for Danu or Dasas. So they believed in some sort of giving. We have already looked at that. And Da also means to break, to destroy. So that is what is causing confusion here. At least my interpretation of this is, let's look at the term Sharma before we go into the meaning of it. Sharma means protecting. Now if you see Sapta Yat Puraha Sharma, if you see that term, what it means is Indra is protecting the 7 cities. Typically the way this is translated is the Sharma word is used for people who are doing the ritual, as we saw in the first line. And this Sharadi is ignored. Nobody really talks about what is the meaning of Sharadi here. Why is rainy season mentioned here? Nobody talks about that. And Darda is applied to 7 cities. Sapta Yat Puraha, they apply Dardaha. Now Dhana again is confused and they just leave it aside. They don't look at it. Now why is Dhan coming here? The money. My interpretation is Dardaha Dhan means has given money to the people who are doing the rituals. So Dardaha means give here. It has nothing to do with destroying the 7 cities. He is actually protecting. Sharma word means protecting. So he is actually protecting the 7 cities, possibly belonging to Aryas, or there is a possible wilder alternative we will talk at the end. Okay. Now let's look at the last 3 terms which support this idea. Dasi Purukutsaya Sikshan. So for Purukutsa, Indra has taught, Dasi means Danu, or Dasas, the group of Dasas who follow Dasi or Danu. So for Purukutsa, now the term Purukutsa is again confusing. We will go to the next slide where we explain Purukutsa. Okay, this rik is by Agastya Maitravaruni. So it starts with Dano Visha Indra Mruduvachaha. Dano means born from Danu, of Danu, that's the meaning of it. Vishaha means people, tribe, city, town, whatever. It's a settlement. Mrudavachaha is an insulting term to mean that the people born from Danu are Mrudavachaha, that speak insultingly. Okay. Now let's look at again this. The important terms are Sapta Yat Puraha Sharma Sharadi Darta. Dart. Dart again can mean two things, burst or shower. We have seen this meaning before, so we won't go into that. But let's go to the second line. Runo Apo Anavadayaha. So let's look at these terms. Runo means, is typically translated to mean loan. So they say that this person Purukutsa, if you see the last three lines of this slide, this Purukutsa is supposedly a son of Ikshvaku king Mandata, who is mentioned in Rigveda, doing many yajnas. We will look at it in a future presentation, more details of that. And Purukutsa means crooked or bad person. Right? That's the meaning. So what they say is this Purukutsa had taken a lot of loans, runa, and somehow they connect Runo, the first word of second line, to the second last word Purukutsa and say he had taken a lot of loans. Purukutsa was a bad guy, so he had taken a lot of loans. That's the translation, which doesn't make any sense. So if we look at the meaning I'm trying to give, Purukutsa means Puru, which is abundance, or punya, that is gained by sacrifices or rituals or good deeds. And Kut means pure, clean. That's the meaning that is given by Panini in his Dhatu Pata. Kut means clean. So for clean punya, this is my translation, Indra has killed Vrutra to bring the waters to the earth. Here Runo means going or flying or flowing waters. Ru means go, as per Panini's Dhatu Pata. Again, Ru has a meaning, flying, going. So he brought the waters. That's the meaning of this, right? So Runo doesn't mean Purukutsa was in loans and he was doing bad things. We don't even go there. Purukutsa was a person or not, we are not even sure, according to Rigveda. Later Puranas talk of Purukutsa being son of Mandata. Most probably that's again a mistranslation or misrewriting of Rigveda. Again, next rik is, okay, we looked at the word Anavada in the previous rik. We didn't spend too much time. The meaning of Anavada means, Anavadaya, means without fault. Now, in this rik, that term comes, we'll go into that in a second. If you see the highlighted text here, Indra Puraha Sahasa Saptadardaha. So the feeling we get is to the 7 cities, Indra suddenly gave a shower. This sort of can be argued that Indra destroyed the 7 cities, a little bit here. That meaning is more here. I would like to accept that part. And but again, so this can be confusing. But again, I still stand by my translation that Indra gave suddenly all these good things. Okay, let's look at the term Anavasya, which will make it more clear. Anavadayaha was a term we used in the previous rik, means faultless. Anavasya means without, humanely, with kindness. That kind of meaning comes. or it is typically translated to mean the property of Anu was divided among Tritsus. That's the meaning that is typically given. Okay. But if you think of the term anavasya, anavadate, anavadaye, in the previous Rik meant faultless. If you translate this to here, it means humanly. So Indra distributed the acquired property among Tritsus humanely, meaning without partiality. That's the meaning that comes, for me at least. That's how I look at this. Now let us look at last three terms again. Purum vidate mrudavacham. Mrudavacham is a term, again, as we have seen, is used for dasas. So here, if you see that Indra has given the knowledge of Puru to the dasas, to the mrudavacham. That meaning can be gleaned from here. So again, everything sort of fits that Indra is teaching Puru to the dasas. He is protecting this, he is giving good things to these 7 cities. Indra is giving good things to these 7 cities. And he is dividing the property acquired through some means properly between Tritsus. Tritsus were the followers of Sudas. We will see in a future presentation. He is the hero of Aryas in some Riks. We'll look at that later. Okay. The second part of the Rik is translated to mean that Puru kings were fighting over portions of spoils of war with Tritsus, which is again a ridiculous translation as per me at least. Let's look at one more Rik which talks about 7, which takes us into more confusing possible translation of 7 cities. Here we are talking about, okay, first let's keep that aside for a second. Let's look at something very interesting, in my view at least, is aptyam, aptyana. This term is used by the singer. These kinds of constructs in Riks are very interesting, and they intentionally use it to make the Rik look appealing to people. Aptyam, aptyanam. What does that mean? Right? Aptyam can mean aptya, son of water, or as a giver. Ap means to give or obtain. Both meanings are there. Aptyanam again means aptya, of aptya, or of son of water, of giver or obtainer. The way, at least if we look at the possible translation of these two words, right? So one aptya means water, one aptya means giver. So here we are talking about Indra, who is very skillful, is giving one up is taken care of water to the people. The other up, first up means aptyana meaning water, aptyam means he is giving. So Indra is giving water. That's the meaning of aptyam, aptyanam, which is interesting again. And in the second line we are talking about this sapta danun, which is interesting. The 7 givings, 7 Danu. So Indra is demonstrating the 7 Danu, superiority of the power of 7 Danu, which gives the meaning that there were some 7 punya kind of meaning comes. There are 7 punya, the power of punya, Indra is demonstrating. Now, this supports the idea that Indra is giving Puru to people. So here, Danu most probably does not mean dasas. It means punya. So if you look at the term saptapuraha, can we say saptapura means saptapuru as saptapunya? Were there 7 punya? in Rigveda? Was that what Indra was protecting? The 7 punya, he was protecting Sharma. The word Sharma is used. Was he protecting the 7 Puru? They were not really 7 cities. We don't know. Okay, so let us look at the number 7, how it is used in different documents across the world. Rigveda mentions 7 hotras, hotrus, actually more correctly. In English, the term gets confused. So there are actually 7 specialized group of priests in each section. One hotraka means a group of priests. So there are 7 hotrakas or 7 hotras. So maybe recitation of these 7 the mantras gives one type of puru. So 7 hotrakas meaning giving 7 punyas, 7 purus, maybe. There are 7 saptarishis who may represent 7 punyas or purus. And according to later Puranas, the whole universe can be divided into 7 lands or dvipas, surrounded by 7 oceans, with 7 intervening oceans. I won't go into the details of those. The number 7 is very important. That's all I'm trying to emphasize. Aditi has 7 sons, Adityas, and they send the 8th son, Martanda, away, who becomes the god of death in certain Puranas later. In Iranian documents, there are 7 Amesha Spentas, which is 7 divine beings or gods, and there are 7 Karshwars or lands created by Ahura Mazda. So this number 7 seems to be very important in many religious contexts, supporting the idea that Sapta Puraha we looked at may not mean 7 cities. It may mean 7 punya, which is obtained through yajna, which is a little wilder than saying that Aryas lived in 7 cities, but that's a possible meaning. And Sharma, the word is used, is Indra is protecting the 7 punyas, and he is giving it to the people who are doing the yajnas. Anyway, thank you very much. If you are more interested in these topics, please look at the references in the description. Thank you for your time.